lately you've felt like your brain is broken, this one's for you. Okay, hello. Hi. I haven't vlogged in quite a while, but I'm actually doing this because I'm crazy. It is budget time at my job, which means I am downloading invoices, I'm sending things to accounting. And normally I like budget time because it's just a little brain off time. But even that this month has felt like a slog through a swamp. I'm tired. I've been doing so much, not only for work, but just in my life in general. And so somehow I decided that the solution to that would be to add a video I need to edit. I don't really know what the logic on that one is, but I do know creativity is kind of a coping mechanism for me. So when I'm feeling down, I look around and I find myself making something. So welcome to this YouTube video. Today is Today is Monday. Can't even keep my days together. Today is Monday. It is 4:30. I'm off work a little bit early today. Although work has ended, my work has not ended. I have an exam coming up on Wednesday. PMI, the Project Management Institute, offers a Project Management Professional PMP certification. So for the past couple of months, I've been working on that. They have a 35-hour-long course that you have to sit through and take notes on, and I found it very dry and very boring and very, very hard to get through all 35 of them hours, girl. And then after you do the course, you have to study more because of course the course doesn't teach you everything you need to know. Why would it? And then you take the exam and you either get an AT above target, like a super A+, or a T on target, you did it, or you fail. My exam is on Wednesday at noon. I've been studying like hard these past 2 weeks. Today and tomorrow I'm gonna take it a little easy on the studying because I'm not gonna learn anything new at this point. Keeping my fingers crossed and my prayers high, because if I don't pass, I'm crashing out. It's gonna be literally terrible if I don't pass because I put so much work and so much time into this. And I'm just so ready to be done. So ready to get this off my frickin' plate. I have so many creative projects that I want to pick back up. I've been writing a novel. I was gonna make a series on it, but then it felt like a lot of pressure. And this is just draft one, and I was scared, so I didn't. But I'm actually like, no, like I could finish this one actually. Like it's going well. So I'm trying to finish draft one by the end of the year. So I'm like, once this test is done, I'm gonna be a writing queen, girl. I'm gonna be Tiffany Siphon. I joined a book club at work. This is a bookshelf behind me. This is a book. I joined a book club at work, so I need to read my book club book. I also have my own personal book that I need to finish reading. My therapist recommended me a book that I'm halfway through. I got another self-help book because of course I did. So I have a lot of reading that needs to get done. I've been crocheting completely for fun. Nobody's asking anything of me, but I'm making some shorts and they're almost done. They're super cute and I'm amused. So we're gonna crochet some shorts this week. I have a graphic design client who's waiting on stuff for me. I have until the end of the month to do it, so I decided to wait until after my exam, but basically I'm busy. Long story short, your girl has a lot to do and I'm tired and I don't want to do anything, but I'm kind of like, if I can just lock in and knock this stuff out, girl, the rest is gonna be so beautiful when this is done. So this week, the main goal is to pass this PMP exam. We're not ready for the video that comes if I don't pass. I'll probably finish my shorts this week, but it's not a goal. It's just like I'm almost done. So I'll probably finish my shorts. I do want to either do some writing or work on that graphic design project that I owe this client. And I've now decided to add editing a YouTube video to my plate. Couldn't tell you why, but yeah, so that's what I've got going on. Like I said, work is about to end, so I'm gonna take a little brain break. Let's like recuperate, and then we're gonna get into some study time. My phone sometimes makes these little like memory things, and it's made me a memory thing for today. So let's see what it wants me to remember from this time last year. I think this is Ecuador. wasn't Ecuador. Oh my god, girl, we get it. That wasn't Ecuador, that was Thailand. I haven't finished editing the Vietnam and Thailand vlogs for March because there's so many. I filled up 2 whole memory cards. So many. So I cleared off the first memory card. I still have the second one full of videos. We're gonna revisit that. Right now, we're making this, okay? Burnout, curing, and then maybe I'll have more creative strength. Alright. I forgot I need to make dinner. That's another thing about being an adult. It's like, it's one thing to be tired about the things that are new that you have to do. But when you're a grown-up, you have to be tired about everything. These are my study materials. We have flashcards. Yep. These are flashcards that I don't know yet. I just haven't. Well, some of these I know. Some of. Ciao. Oh my god, there's so much. And then I would like. This is my like review schedule of like everything I'm supposed to do each day, right? So like Wednesday, an hour of. I cannot read this backwards. Problem area review, an hour of flashcard review. 30 minutes of formula questions. Ridiculous. Right? Ridiculous. So what I would do is I have practice quizzes and like practice exams. And so I would go back through my practice quizzes and practice exams and write down like, okay, I got this question wrong. So based on what I got wrong, here's like a rule that I need to know. Structural conflict is caused by factors outside of the team, while interpersonal conflicts is caused by differences in between team members. Sorting conflicts by one of these 2 causes can help identify the root cause in the solution. Which like seems very self-explanatory. That's the thing about the PMP exam. It's all very self-explanatory. Like if you read like the concepts that I need to know, you'd be like, girl, what's the issue? The issue is the test. The issue is the test. They ask all the questions in the dumbest way. Like, it'll be like, which one of these is a feline? A, cat. B, puma. C, jaguar. D, eagle. And you're just like, what? And you have to pick the most correct based off of their logic, not off of real life logic. So like in their logic, they'll just have a rule that like all cats are descendants of pumas, regardless of science. Therefore, which one is a feline? Puma was the right answer. If you guessed cat or jaguar, you're wrong. And if you guessed eagle, you're stupid. And that's how the whole test is. So I hate it, but we're gonna do some review.
Okay. Ooh, let's go. He's so cute. He's so damn cute.
Good morning, YouTube. It's a new day. I'm wearing the same shirt and we're going to be in the same room all day, so it's going to feel like the same day, but it's a new day. So what I'm doing right now is moving my cars. As I told you guys, my car that you're used to, the blue one, kept breaking down. I cannot tell you that story because I will freak out. But long story short, the mechanics broke my car. Like, that's the simplest way I can say it. They broke my car and we just decided like it wasn't worth it. So I got a new car. But they do street sweeping on Tuesdays. So I would have had to move this car regardless. My currently being driven car would have been at work. But my manager, shout out to my manager girl, said I can work from home today. Love her down. So I'm just gonna move the cars and then go back inside and do my job. But I need to talk to you about my job and the burnout I've been feeling and everything that's going on. So let me just move these cars real quick. Welcome to the inside of my new car. Isn't she fancy? It's a Hyundai. I got an Elantra. I'm also not really sure how to pronounce Hyundai. Everyone I ask says it differently. But it has a lovely little spot for my camera. So I'm gonna turn it off and we're gonna chat. So I'm not talking about my job. I know I said a second ago that I was gonna talk to you about my job. Sunroof alert. I know I said a second ago I was gonna talk to you about my job, but I'm actually not. I would not want to talk about my job and disrespect my employers. Not that stating the facts of the situation would disrespect my employers, because if they didn't want me to be in a situation worth talking about, maybe they could have not put me in it. But I just feel like I don't want to talk about them. So we're actually not going to talk about my job. My job's great. Everything's perfect. We're going to talk about my knitting club, which has been stressing me out. So my knitting club used to be owned by a small family. But the knitting club, like the head of the family decided to sell the knitting club to a big knitting conglomerate, if you will. And the knitting conglomerate people have come in and said, hey, we need to change up the whole structure of this club, starting with removing all of the members. So my entire team has been told to leave knitting club in December, except for me and the department head, the head of the whole team. Everybody else, including my manager, is leaving knitting club in December. And the reason why that's maybe adding a little bit of stress to my life is because I see how much work my manager and I do, and I see how much work the rest of my club does, and I'm like, well, how are we gonna knit all these sweaters when we've gone from 15 people to 2 people? How's that gonna work? So I've just been getting stressed about the future and having to go to knitting club every day and having to do the work of at least 2 people. It's kind of because I'm not a knitter, I'm a knitting project coordinator, I'm not the one actually knitting, so I don't have to do all of that. But I do have to buy all of the yarn, the needles, get knitting club organized, tell people what color sweaters they're making, get the buttons for the cardigans. I have to do all of that. And without my manager to help, I have to do my job and her job, or my knitting responsibilities and her knitting responsibilities. And with my department head no longer having the knitting managers under her to help guide the knitting team, she's going to have a lot more work. So I'm probably going to have to take on the simpler tasks from her work now that she has a lot more work. So I'm going to go from one person's job up to 2.5 people's jobs. And was there a pay increase proposed? Of course not. You don't get paid at knitting club. But I asked the knitting club people, can we talk about this? We're going to need to talk about this. My department head is in the same position of we need to talk about a couple of things. And they're not interested in talking to us at the moment. The excuse is that they're busy because they, removed all of the knitting club members. They need to find a knitting agency to replace everybody. And it's also I'm just talking about my knitting team. There are lots of knitting teams in knitting club, and lots of them had members removed. So, they're doing a lot to try and deal with the fact that they just removed all of these people. I would have proposed not removing the people, but what do I know? I don't own a knitting conglomerate. I'm just a dumb bitch. So that's one aspect of it, is all of the additional work that's going to come to me. The current issue, because, you know, that's all like future vision. The current issue is some other knitting teams have already had their members removed. So some other knitting teams have already gone from 10 to 1 person. So those people are stressing me out because they're constantly asking us to knit shit that it's like, how am I? Listen. All of these knitting club members know that they're being kicked out of knitting club in December. So why would they be like knitting their best right now? They're not going to, first of all. And second of all, why are you giving me more things to do? I'm already doing enough. And you're over here like, oh, I'm just one person. I understand that. So just don't do anything. Just don't do all of this. Like, if you don't have the bandwidth, don't do it. But you're doing 17 things like as if you have all these people to help you and you don't, and you're coming to me? What do you think I'm going to do? Not all of this. And then the next thing, because a lot of my knitting club members are going to be kicked out. Some of them have already left. Good for them. Some of them are like, not interviewing. They're talking to other knitting clubs to see if they want to like leave on their own. Some of them are just like, they're still here, but they're not on their A game, which why would they be? So we've taken on a knitting agency in the interim, not like the one that the knitting conglomerate wants to work with. This is like a little one. We've taken on a knitting agency to help us do some of this work. But if I'm honest, the knitting agency is taking forever to integrate into us. They've been meaning to like meet with our current knitting team and like learn our current workflow and stuff. And they're literally taking forever. Like, it's been weeks and they haven't done it. They're working on, we have a knitting Black Friday sale. They're working on the Black Friday sale, but it means everything else day to day is still being done by, basically the team has already been cut in half, and the half that is still here doesn't want to knit. And the people on this agency who are supposed to be helping us knit are not doing it. And I don't know what's taking so long. My department head like doesn't have the bandwidth to like deal with them, and I am not like in a seniority level to deal with them. So I'm like, I don't really know what's going on, but can you guys do what we hired you to do, please? Because like, what's going on? What's going on? And then the final thing is that because this is an international knitting group, I'm actually in the last time zone. So every day when I wake up, the first thing I have to do is sit there for like 10 or 15 minutes and go through tons of messages from the people in South Africa who already had their whole work day, the people in London who already had their whole work day, the people in New York who woke up 4 hours ago. Like, I'm just always behind. And then it's always like the whole agency of knitters are in London. So it's like I have an hour in the morning to ask them what I need to ask them and get what I need done, and then they disappear for the rest of the day. So it's like, what use is this really? It's very, very dumb. And I've noticed the knitting conglomerate is struggling to find an agency in the same time zone as me. And I just want to make it clear to the knitting conglomerate, if we get to that point, I will not be knitting. I will not be coordinating projects for the knitting team all hours of the day. I'm not doing that. I have a work schedule and we're going to follow the work schedule. So if you hire an agency to help us knit that is not in our time zone, they're going to have to be very self-sufficient, because I'm not going to be up at 6 a.m. and going to bed at 10 p.m. because of where the knitting agency is. I'm not going to do that. And then it's like the actual work that needs to be done for the knitting team. It's like, they don't want to do it and I don't want to do it, and the vibes are off. Everybody's depressed. Like, especially like going in office and seeing like, oh, the knitting team that was in charge of knitting printed materials, they're gone. The knitting team that was in charge of IT, they're gone. Like, it's just like, and then like, I'm American, if you haven't gathered. The job market here is so bad, and like I don't even understand how bad it is, because it's been bad since 2020. It's been bad for 5 years, but apparently it's like extra worse now, and I'm like, it was already terrible. How could it get worse? And so like, knowing all my knitting teammates are having to find new knitting crews at a time like this, it's very unideal and sad. And it's also like, like, I kind of understand the company logic of, like, if we want to do more, we need more people, and we don't have more people. So instead of hiring more people, we're just going to get rid of everybody and hire a knitting agency. Like, a bit rude, but, you know, you don't care about us. You don't even know us. You're here for the bottom line. But it's like, was the bottom line really necessary on teams where you're getting rid of, like, 1 or 2 people? Like, you couldn't just shuffle them around and have them do something else. Like, a lot of the people that stayed, myself included, got shuffled into a new job title. You couldn't just do that for those 1 or 2 people? Like, really? I don't really like the knitting conglomerate, to be fair. And they don't really like me, or they wouldn't have done all of this. So, like, I guess we're even. But it's just, the vibes are off. That's the best way I can describe it. It's hard to just keep on knitting and keep on buying buttons and keep on planning projects when the vibes are eternally off. I don't even feel confident in my, like, position at Knitting Club, because it's like, I mean, nobody else had any reason to be confident. Like, we see how being confident went for them. Let me stop. I'm actually going to stop. I've never named what knitting club I'm in, so it shouldn't be an issue. And also, again, I'm just stating the facts that the knitting club put, like, that they did. So, like, I don't really see how this could be an issue. But I think I'm going to stop talking about knitting club. I'm going to go back inside. I already answered my morning messages for work, which is a different thing from knitting club. I already answered my morning messages for work, so that's fine. But I do need to grab my breakfast, and I just eat breakfast at the computer when I work from home because it's easier than waking up early to eat breakfast. So I'm gonna grab my breakfast and then get into the morning's work, the morning's tasks. We're gonna ignore how tired knitting club makes me feel, how every little button press at knitting club just is a little strange at the moment. And we're just gonna knit the best that we can when I have club. Right now I have work. So yeah, different thing. I'm gonna put you guys on the tripod while I talk. My brain is kind of tapped out, to be honest with you. But my therapist sent me some homework. I'm supposed to make a trauma egg. I just want to talk because I feel pretty comfortable talking about the fact that I'm doing therapy, and my therapist wants me to do this treatment that I think is a bit extreme. I'm drawing my egg down here. That's what I'm looking off the screen at. You're not going to see it. I just feel like turning the camera makes a little more sense. Anyway, I feel pretty comfortable talking about therapy. And I've been trying to, like, sort out why that is. Because most people, like, treat it as taboo. Don't want to... This egg is not... Don't want to talk about it. But I just feel like... I don't know. I'm not in the moment, in that moment. Like, I'm just saying something that happened. And I just feel like you don't have to be crazy to go to therapy. Like, I just feel like there's a value in introspection. And in just, like, being able to kind of see yourself from a different lens. The lens of, like, a professional who can help you, like, validate your feelings and your experiences, but also just, like, kind of think about them differently. And even though my therapist has come to the conclusion the best way for me to deal with the way that I am is trauma therapy, even though I still just feel like, you know, it is what it is. Nobody's perfect. Like, we all have our things. So if you don't journal, do it. I encourage you. Once you, like, get to a point in your journaling where you're like, okay, I know I feel this way. I know basically why I feel this way, but I don't know what to do about it. That's when you sign up for therapy. But anyway. So I made a list of all the things I want to draw, and then I'm about halfway through the egg. I have a little bit of time left in work. I'll finish up the work day, do my studying, and call it a night. And next time you hear from me might be tomorrow morning. It might just be tomorrow after my exam. Oh, I do need to go buy some snacks, though, because my exam is from 12 to 4. So I don't get lunch tomorrow. So I need some hefty snacks that I can, like, whale down during my break periods and not get hungry. So I'm gonna go do that after work too. But I don't think I'm gonna film it. I'll just catch you guys tomorrow. It's 9:45 on Wednesday. I have to leave the house at 11 to get to my test on time. And I'm just nervous. Like, I have some dreams. One of them was that I registered for 2 exams and then I canceled the wrong one, so then I had the wrong time, like, it was just all wrong. And now I finished reviewing the flashcards I got wrong yesterday. I finished reviewing all of my written notes. I don't want to like overdo it, so I'm like, you know what, I've gone through what I can go through and I just have to take the exam. So yeah, I'm leaving at 11, so I want to eat breakfast at 10:30, like as late as possible, so I can try and ensure I don't get hungry for the exam. It's hard to chill out. I'm very nervous. I really just want to fast, you guys. I really want to fast. But yeah, I'm having boiled eggs with grapes and some bread for breakfast. Just before the exam, we'll have like a yogurt kind of shake thing to give myself a little girth in my stomach. I'm gonna make a coffee to bring with me so that if I get tired during the exam, I can like chug some coffee on my break. I have a sandwich to like chow down on really quickly during break. And I have a granola bar. There's like a study resource that everybody uses called Study Hall, which is what I use. It says online if you can get like a 60 to an 80 on the Study Hall tests, then you'll do okay on the real test, because the real test is easier. And I've been doing that on Study Hall, 60s to 80s, but I just don't believe it. I just don't believe, like, you tell me, oh, I did a practice exam, I got a 63. And then you tell me I'm supposed to go down do the real exam. Like, it just doesn't seem like it's gonna go very well. There's nothing I can do at this point. The test is literally today in a few hours, so I just have to trust that it'll work out. I'm here. I'm at a Pearson View Education Center, or Testing Center. I don't forget what it's called. It's this official smart people looking building over there. I'm here. I am nervous. Correct. Yes, indeed. Very nervous. But you know what? Being nervous doesn't change anything. You know, I go in there, I answer 200 and some odd questions, and I either get enough of them right or I get too many of them wrong. It goes the way it goes. It goes the way it goes. So we have a yogurt drink, Pringles pizza flavor, a Oreo flavor Builder's protein bar by Cliff, a chalky milk, some coffee, sandwich. So that's the like little snack pack that I've got going on here. Am I gonna eat all of this? Probably not, because you find out your results immediately, from what I remember. So I'm just nervous to like take that whole test, spend 4 whole hours, like give everything I've got, and then I get to the end and it displays my results and it's like, you fucking failed, bitch. And I have to go back and tell everybody who knew the test was today, tell them that I failed. I'm just nervous, but I'm gonna drink my little yogurt, get me another 150 calories to hold me over until my first break. Oh, I need to check. Oh, thank you guys for reminding me. I need to check my timings, because I know you're supposed to spend like a minute and 15 seconds on each question to like finish in time, but the test counts down. So it starts at 4 hours and then counts down. So I need to know, like, okay, once it's at like, you know, 2 hours and 57 minutes, that's when I should be at my first break. So if I'm not, I'm fucking up. I need to check my test timings again. So I'm gonna do that. And then I'm gonna go check in. And I will see you guys back in this car, because when I leave my camera in here, I'll see you guys when I'm done. Okay, girly pops. I'm back. This is too much. I don't want to remove the sunshade because the sun is literally shining right in my face, but you cannot see me. That doesn't even help. Remember when I told you that I'd find out my test results immediately? Well, turns out I was lied to. I was not told my test results immediately. I remained nervous in the beginning of the test. Towards the middle, my nerves like went away and I was like locked in. And then at the end again, I got nervous again, and I was like, man, like, I'm about to see my results. So I hope I've been passing this whole time. I hope I didn't just clock in 4 hours for nothing. All of the workers kept changing because I was in there for so long. And unfortunately, my first test proctor left. So when I finished the test, I had a different test proctor. But I liked her because every other time before that, before I would like, you know, finish a break or whatever and go back into the test, she would like give me a little encouraging phrase, and they were all so cute. Her first one was like, no more stress, only success. And I'm like, you know what, Russian lady, you are so right. I'm gonna check this printout, see if my results are on it. gonna check my email, see if they sent me my results immediately. And if not, we're just gonna go home and I'm just gonna ignore how I feel right now because I feel very on edge. I don't think my results are in here because they didn't like look me up to print this out. I just went to the front and she was like, here you go. So I don't think they're in here, but we'll see. It's in here. Okay. Pass. Rihanna. Above target. Above target. Above target. I'm happy that I never have to think about this again. I do have to like maintain my certifications. Like every 3 years I have to do 60 credit hours of learning, but I don't have to take a test. There will be 0 examination. I never have to do this again. Praise the Lord Jesus, because that was so much. This has been so much. It literally, when I say it's been so much, like I put that on everything. It's been a lot. I'm happy to be done. I'm blessed to have this off of my freaking chest, to just never have to do this again. I'm so happy. And if I wanted to now, if I wanted to be corny like everybody else, I could go into my LinkedIn and add comma PMP to the end of my name like it's a PhD, because I took 1 4-hour test. I'm not going to do that, but I now have the right. Yeah, I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna go home.
The route guidance will start now.
The route guidance
turn
will
left
start
and then
now.
turn right.
So I'm gonna go home and I'll chat to you guys later. But this is a lot of stress off my plate, so I'm super happy. Good morning, you guys. It is Thursday, 8:19. I have a meeting at 8:30, so this is just a quick little check-in. I am feeling so refreshed this morning. Rejuvenated, restored, re-energized. I feel great. And it really is just realizing like that test was a lot of mental strain. A lot of mental strain was on me because of that freaking exam. I was really worried about it. And now it's done. And I don't have to think about it at all ever again. I love that for me. I feel great. If you can, like obviously everybody's situation is different, but if you're finding like you're really burnt out in life, you've got too much going on, you can't really manage yourself that well. If you're finding that that's your reality, try and just take something off your plate. There are lots of weeks where I take cooking off my plate. I'm a meal prepper. Apparently you guys aren't. Apparently nobody else cooks. That's what I've come to understand, but I cook. And there are weeks where I just say, you know what, no. Actually, I don't cook. Not right now. Not right now, I don't cook. And I just, you know, head over to Trader Joe's. I get some freezer food. I just, you know, find a way to operate where I don't have to cook. And then that's just one little responsibility, one little line of thought that I don't have to worry about. You know, it could be laundry. You could say, you know what, I'm just going to take it to the laundromat. I mean, it could be any number of things in your life. It could be work. You could have called in and say, hey, I'm taking a vacation day. I'm taking a mental health day. I'm not doing this. Sometimes giving yourself a little bit of a mental break. It's a gorgeous thing. It's a gorgeous thing. But I am happy. I'm thrilled. I'm going to take a little brain break. You guys know I love a brain break. So I have like a meeting I missed that I need to watch the video for. It's an hour. So while I watch that, I'm gonna knit. Not knit, I'm gonna crochet. And I kind of theorized that I'm doing the legs wrong. I don't know though. So let's try them on. I'll put them on over my pants. So this is what I made before that. Look at this bag. I made a little ruffled edge for it. It's a bunch of little sunflowers. Handles, like she's such a slay. So imagine me with my bag and then I'm wearing matching shorts, like gagged. I'm gagged. Like I could wear them low-waisted, but the crotch is like a little too low. I think that like their natural fit is very high, but like I don't know why, because I put them on, I tried them on, I made sure that they were fitting the way I wanted them to fit, so I don't understand what happened. But I guess I've learned a lesson for my next pair of shorts. I actually realize I am doing this wrong. There's not, let me get another pair of shorts. So the shorts, they're like one tube that comes all the way down, and then at some point the tube separates into 2 separate legs, right? You get a left leg and a right leg. On my shorts, I have 2 holes, but I only have one like piece between them. So there's still just one hole with a piece in the middle. I think that's why the high-waistedness isn't working, because this isn't like a leg. So I'm like, I could frog all of this. You don't go from knowing how to make shorts or not. You don't go from not knowing how to make shorts to making perfect shorts at your first try. That's not how that always goes. So I need to reconfigure some things.
And this feedback really determines your market reputation, which impacts your recruiting for private equities or hedge funds and more say around the firm will most likely have the power to put in good words.
Guys, I love this. I want to make like one more row to like close this, and I want the last row, it's gonna be white again, but I want it to be like different somehow. I'm thrilled. So I'm gonna figure out what I want to do for like the last row, and then I could do the other leg, and then I could be done with my little shorts. Let me open the window and we can have what I think is going to be the last shot of this video. Let me also turn off the fan. I have decided I'm not going to get any writing done during this vlog. I actually have other things that I kind of need to do. But I figure since I'm not going to be getting any writing done, I could at least introduce you guys to the concepts of my novel. So like I said, I'm on draft 1. I'm past the midpoint. I'm on draft 1 of a novel. I've been writing it really slowly and just kind of like taking my time. But I did decide like I want to finish it before the end of the year. Well, when I started writing, I thought it was a romantasy. But as I started writing it, I realized that's not what it was at all. So it's become speculative fiction. Speculative fiction is like the modern world, but there's a little bit of magic. The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, for example, is speculative fiction. Or like the Eternal Sunshine of a Spotless Mind, Severance. These things where it's like the regular world, but it's just a little bit different. We ask like, well, what if, you know, people had this cool power? What if we could do this cool thing? That's speculative fiction. So in my story, it's the modern world, but some people have the capacity to interact with other people's memories. It's kind of like being a ginger. You know, some people are born with it, some people are not. It's not that big of a deal. We just kind of go on about our day. We either have it or we don't. And my main character comes from a family of these people with these memory powers are called Mamari. So my main character comes from a family of strong Mamari, and she herself, she has the ability to see and create copies of other people's memories, common ability. So she works at a memory bank as a memory preserver, common thing to do if you have this kind of ability. But she also has this additional trait that comes from being in her family. And her additional trait is that she can remove her own memories. So, you know, she's walking, she trips, she's embarrassed, everybody laughs at her. She can turn the corner, pull that memory from her brain, throw it in the trash, and as far as she is concerned, that never happened. And she's a little bit plagued by 3 very big memories that she's like thrown to the top of her shelf, thrown a blanket over them, doesn't think about them, doesn't look at them. 3 very big memories that she removed, and she does kind of wonder like, what were those memories? Was I right to remove something that big from myself? But she trusts her past self-judgment, so she just keeps those memories out of her head, and she's just kind of going through life feeling a bit disillusioned with it all. Working as a memory preserver, she sees people try and like hang on to the past, but she feels the past is meant to be forgotten, and using her powers to just forget it a little bit sooner is just kind of speeding up the inevitable, and like we're all just waiting to die, basically, is where she's at. Until she meets a man. She meets a man whose memories are rich. They're vivid. There's no forgotten edges. There's no like jumping scenes. Like his memories are locked in, and they're so joyful, so full of emotion. And she's like, oh, he's living. Like all these people coming into the bank for me to preserve their memories, they're whatever. He's living. I gotta see how to get like him. So she just gains this interest in this man and in figuring out how he lives. And as she's doing this, things are kind of going left with her own family. She has an older sister and a dad, and things are just kind of like coming to a head with them. She's finding it difficult to really be fully like giving herself to this man, which she's constantly choosing to forget things about her life. And she just ends up at a crossroads where she has to decide, does she want to keep living the way that she's been living and enjoy the safety of a life with, you know, selective memories that she's created? Or does she want to face the pain of living through every second of reality? And does she even think that doing that will bring her any closer to this man, any closer to her sister, any closer to her dad, any closer to herself, and just being happy? So yeah, it's a speculative fiction with some romance and some family drama elements. It explores themes of love, loss, grief, kind of. I'm still figuring out the grief element. It might not really be grief, I don't know. And what it means to be alive. What is the human experience? So that's what I'm writing. Right now it's called Unnamed Memory Story. Very creative, I know. So I'm excited to get back into writing it. I put writing on pause, and honestly I want to write today. Like, I'm ready to write today. I just don't have the time. And I'm not going to have the time for the rest of the week probably, but next week I'll be diving into writing. And honestly, I've had so much fun vlogging with you guys that next week might be a vlog. I don't know. I might film a sit-down video. I don't know. But I've also put YouTube on hold just to like focus on other things. Like, I'm doing therapy. Like, I'm busy. And this isn't a job. I don't get paid for this. It's just for hobby. But like, I've had a lot of fun filming this vlog. And I'm kind of like, I remember why I used to do this. I'm kind of into it. Like, I kind of want to do it again. So if you want to hear from me, let me know what you want to hear from me about in the comments. Let me know how you guys are dealing with burnout. Let me know if burnout impacts your creativity, or if your creativity is helping you heal your burnout. I've just been pouring into that side of myself, and it's been so, like, such a nice change of pace from just feeling like wired and stressed and studying for this godforsaken test. So I'm really happy to be feeling better. I hope that you guys are handling well in your own spaces as well. Some videos are gonna pop up that you can watch. If you enjoyed this one, I would really recommend trying one of these next. Give this video a like, leave a comment, let me know what you thought, and I will see you guys in the next one. Until then, toodaloo. I'll have to show you the shorts in the next one.